Hello, and welcome to another Fantasy Premier League video. My name is Steve, and sorry I haven't released anything in the last couple of weeks. My dad was unfortunately admitted to hospital with a pretty serious condition requiring some specialized care. And with me having a pretty healthy distrust of the medical industry given recent events, I basically just dropped everything, did a deep dive into research, reading peer-reviewed papers, watching Dr. John Campbell videos and similar types of content on YouTube, and all sorts, so that I was going to be able to cite studies when talking to the cardiologist and to be able to understand the jargon which he was likely to respond with in those conversations. And to be honest, I'm pretty glad I did, because I'm now aware that they're not even investigating the blatantly obvious medical interventions as a possible cause for my dad's condition or any of the other patients within their care at a guess. So anyway, sorry I was absent without any warning, but I am now back into FPL with two free transfers, one of which I've already spent on selling Nicholas Jackson, which you can already see on screen as I did make the early move to catch his price rise, which will go through the decisions on why I've decided to bring Mateta in, as well as we'll also go through my second free transfer and who I'm going to fill the third Liverpool spot with, which will be coming in this week. So with that being said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, especially if you get any value out of the following content. Right, so Nicholas Jackson has been pretty disappointing, to say the least. He has been a pretty tough hold over this last set of fixtures. I think he's only got like one assist in a whole bunch of game weeks. To be honest, I've basically just been relying on my bus team the last couple of weeks as well. I did make one transfer last week, as Martinelli was benched 2 games in a row, which, I mean, I just wasn't across the football and had no idea why he was not quite making it into the first team. So I just went, bucket, Martinelli out, Gordon in. He's pretty nailed, and he's got some pretty good fixtures coming up. Might be a short-term hold for Gordon, but at least I won't have to worry about what's going on there while I've got other things on my mind. Nicholas Jackson has had quite a few chances to score. He's failed to put them all away. He was also benched against Ipswich a couple of weeks back, indicating that Maresca does want to try and get Nkunku out onto the pitch in the easier matches. And I mean, Nicholas Jackson's got Man City this week, and so he's almost certainly going to play. There are a couple of easy fixtures coming up for Chelsea once we get past that Man City fixture, but I'm not entirely sure he's going to play all the games. So that was just another reason to get rid. I also kind of need a little bit of money. I think I only had about 0.1 million in the bank before I made the move. And so Jackson was probably the easiest transfer out that I've had in a while. Now, knowing how my season is going, Jackson's almost certainly going to score a double against Man City, and Mateta is clearly going to blank, but let's hope that's not the case. Now, my first point of call was, of course, my immediate thought was Chris Wood surely has to come in here. He's the man in form, can't seem to stop scoring, and of course he is the only Kiwi in the league, and so it's even a little bit of added incentive for me to bring him in. But I'm in need of gaining some serious rank, and I just don't get the feeling that Nottingham Forest are really going to be burying teams. The Wood is probably the best player to try and go against to see if I can steal a march on the competition with a bit of a differential. Plus, Wood's fixtures are pretty tough, so I don't really see him going crazy with the points. even if he does manage to continue to tick along. So basically ruled out Chris Wood straight away. Now, next on the short list was Cody Gakpo as a pretty, well, he's a bit of an intriguing option. He could quite easily fit in as my third Liverpool spot. Now, I do only have one spot left, already owning Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But given Darwin Núñez being in the mix now, and Diaz also there competing for his spot, he's probably got a little bit more minutes now that Jota is injured. But with Liverpool having so many fixtures coming up, there is going to be some rotation in that Liverpool front line. And I'm basically just looking for nailed-on assets at the moment when there is fixture congestion. And so I've just basically discounted Gakpo and Diaz from my thoughts pretty much immediately as well. Darwin Núñez is never anywhere near my thoughts. He's never a consideration for me, so he never even made it onto the shortlist. Next on the shortlist was Cunha, who is the type of player who could get some monster hauls, but his fixtures are just super tough. Arsenal, Villa, Liverpool, Bournemouth, and Fulham in the next 5 doesn't really scream double-digit returns from Cunha. So I went looking elsewhere, and it really came down to the final 2 options, which was Wissa from Brentford and Mateta from Crystal Palace. So Wissa is also the type of player who could end up with some pretty decent hauls. I don't think he's really a hat-trick type man, but he could quite easily get a couple of returns in a game. Brentford are just basically all-out attack, no defence. So he's definitely got the ability to get in on the attacking returns. But I do worry a little bit about his minutes. And his kind run of fixtures doesn't really start until game week 25. And I'm really looking to buy someone to bang in some points straight away. And so Mateta, but last season I have some not so fond memories of Mateta destroying me in the late season, late last year. And I'd kind of like to be on the other side of that this year. He's only 5.3% owned. He did take a penalty against West Ham, but of course Eze was off the pitch at that point. But that definitely shows he's at least second in line for penalties. And who knows, maybe he might even sneak one in front of Eze while he's on the pitch. Although Eze is looking like he's probably the main penalty taker. But I think he's probably the best differential to go for in order to try and steal a march and just hope that the tough run of fixtures for the other forwards out there and the potential rotation threat for the players like Darwin and Gakpo will just give Mateta the edge, and who knows, maybe he like bangs in a hat-trick against Brentford at home this week and he gives me a hell of a boost straight off the bat. Fingers crossed, that's what I'm aiming for. And so Mateta came in yesterday, I think it was, before it looked likely that he was going to go up in price. So I now have one remaining free transfer, and I'm looking at bringing in my final Liverpool player. Now, I've already discounted any attacker from Liverpool based on the rotation issues, so it really comes down to which defensive asset I'm likely to bring in. Now, my first immediate thought was get rid of Raya and bring in Alisson, because Alisson's just nailed on. I mean, the returns from my double Arsenal defense lately has just been terrible. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 2, 6, 3, 6, 2. It's been horrible for a while. Wolves away this week is also kind of tough from a defensive standpoint. I mean, I'm sure Arsenal are going to score goals in this, but Wolves are also basically just doing all-out attack, and so they're probably going to sneak in a goal here. And then they've got Man City at home in game week 24 when the double is on. However, after that, I think they've probably got it in them to keep a few clean sheets across Leicester, West Ham, United, Forest and United. Chelsea will be a little bit tough. Fulham, Everton, Brentford, Ipswich. I mean, the rest of the run for the rest of the season just looks like I might even want to be doubling back up on the Arsenal defense. And so I've actually decided to go against the goalkeeper transfer here. So I am going to be bringing in a defender. I do not want to sell Gabriel at all. His attacking threat from set pieces is just unmatched, and I'm sure the moment that I sell him, he'll just go and score a goal from a corner and just add more misery to my season than is already necessary. And so I'm actually looking at bringing in Kanate, considering he's the only one that I can really afford. I've owned Kanate earlier this season. He actually did really well for me, getting a few attacking returns. I think he got an assist and maybe a couple of goals for me. And I was tempted to bring him in a few weeks back when I was looking at a different defensive transfer when I ended up bringing in Robinson. Now, Robinson's actually done pretty well for me. Robinson also had a much better run of fixtures. What I thought was a better run of fixtures than Kanate, and Kanate was only just back from injury, and I didn't really want to take the risk of bringing him in to see him get re-injured. Kanate has played the last 3 game weeks. I think it was like 90 minutes, 65 and 90. And so I think I'm just going to go Robinson out. He's coming for a short run of fixtures. I think I got him around this Bournemouth fixture, and it was like an assist, blank against Ipswich, then 2 assists against West Ham, and a clean sheet, no attacking returns, and 2 bonus points against Leicester last week. Robinson has done extremely well for me, and I would actually like to hold him for this Manchester United game. So I don't think Manchester United are actually in the best anything at the moment. Pretty rough all season, to be honest. But then Fulham's run of fixtures from a defensive standpoint just don't look great. Newcastle away, Forest at home, Palace away, Palace at home, Wolves away, Brighton away, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool. I mean, it's all pretty bad reading almost for the rest of the season in terms of defensive prospects from Fulham. Fulham haven't actually been keeping a hell of a lot of clean sheets this season either. So it was really just going to be attacking returns for Robinson. And so I'm not really going to overthink this too much. I think my final transfer is almost certainly going to be Robinson out for Kanade. That'll have me tripled up on Liverpool. This week's the best week to go for it because, of course, they do have Ipswich at home this week. It is definitely a better fixture than Manchester United at home. So I'm just going to blow my 2 free transfers in preparation for the double next week. I still have all of my chips remaining as well. I didn't use my triple captain earlier in the season, and so I will be banging that on Mo Salah in game week 24. So I will not be using the assistant manager chip. So there's no thoughts about worrying about blocking myself for that Arnie slot in game week 24. And I'll be looking to use that a little bit later in the season. All right, that was a pretty short video to get me back into the swing of things, but that does wrap up this video. It'll probably be my only video for this week as well, and I will be back ahead of game week 24 to see what to do with my 1 free transfer heading into that double. So don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a comment to tell us what you think. Good luck for the game week to all of you out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in a little bit. Cheers.